Welcome, welcome, one and all. My name is Tom, and I would like to welcome you to Tom's Tavern. So, let's get started, shall we? Burridge is having a giggle over there.
Yeah.
So, it seems this is the first episode. I'll give you all a little bit of an introduction. Tom's Tavern is a project that's been in the works for nearly a year now. It is supposed to emulate the atmosphere of sitting around a table at your local watering hole, as you might call it, a pub. Other beverage serving places are available. And we discuss a particular topic relatively in depth, as much in depth as we can deal with at the time. And this is the first episode. Welcome. If my other guests would like to introduce themselves, we have Burridge.
Hello there. I am Burridge, co-owner of Bluetail Media.
Yes.
Alongside Tom,
This is
we
a
host
Bluetail
our
Media
podcast.
production.
It is indeed. I host the podcast with him as well, Burridge and Tom Rambling On. And that's about it for me.
That's about it for Burridge. And we also have our special guest, Kieran, who's a duck today, because he's lost his webcam.
Hello there, yes. I have neither a webcam nor any official association with Bluetail Media, and that's mainly because I can formulate a complete sentence without struggling.
His only affiliation to Blue Tal is he was there when the name was come up with.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember
Years
it.
ago.
There was a distinct lack of clothing in that pitch meeting.
As there should be in all pitch meetings. All right, has everyone got a beverage?
Do indeed.
I've got a cup of tea. It's nice and toasty.
Kieran's going exceedingly British tonight. Burridge
I
has
am
got
exceedingly
his
British.
orange juice,
I've got my orange squash.
his
Yeah.
orange squash,
In,
and
in a Coca-Cola branded.
a Coca-Cola branded Coca-Cola.
Like,
Wait, hold on. Is that Japanese on the bottom of the Coca-Cola thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Bro,
Oh, hang on.
I'm
where's the
drinking
camera? There it
Japanese
is.
beer.
Hey!
Tonight I shall be drinking Asahi, a Japanese beer. Most people don't rate it over Sapporo, but I can't really get Sapporo at my local alcohol supplier, also known as a supermarket.
My local alcohol supplier. Tom, I'm sorry. Are we doing a deposition for court instead of a
Yes.
instead of a stream for Tavern talk?
Let me pour my beer. Oh, I quite like Asahi. It's not bad.
What does it actually
Oh.
taste like?
Beer.
Okay, well, beer to me just tastes gross. So does it not have any different taste, or does it all beer taste like beer?
Asahi tastes a little light, in my opinion, compared to like a lager or something. But it's the Japanese. I guess it could technically be classed as a lager beer. It's supposedly super dry, and it's far from the driest. Okay, right. Let me explain for Kieran here.
Sorry, just so for context for anyone watching. Essentially, first and foremost, I, like Burge, am not really much of a drinker at all. I occasionally have one or two, and that's mainly with Tom's influence and if it tastes fruity in nature.
Yeah, Kieran
So
drinks
when Tom says, yeah, so when Tom says super dry, you can imagine that me
He
being
thought
just
the
the
clothing
hilarious.
brand.
He thought the clothing
No,
brand.
No, I just thought, how are you drinking a liquid that's dry? Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Okay, so a dry drink. It's kind of hard to explain without having experienced it, but it leaves it literally makes your mouth feel dry after you've swallowed it. Are you
Oh, I
okay there,
see.
Burridge?
I've got my Nazgul.
This is what I have to work with,
For-
people.
For a second, I thought it was like a Batman mask, and I was going to be very sad because
Yeah, I was-
Kevin Conroy passed away today.
Very confused. Oh, rest in peace. But yeah,
Oh.
so like they say this is dry, and it is dry, but they call it super dry, but I have had wines that are way drier than this. Like I had a wine on LNER first class. Posh, I know. And my
Where's
God,
opinion?
was that dry? That white was something else.
Well, I at least know what it's like to feel intensely dry in the mouth department, mainly from my last train travel visit with Thomas. And before anyone's like, what reverse porn did you get up to that made your mouth dry? No, unfortunately, Tom made a rather benign joke, all things considered, and next thing you know,
He's joking.
everyone can relate to water goes down the wrong way and you choke, but it's brief. It doesn't really impact you that much, and then you get on with your life. I could not actually breathe for about 45 seconds. I was growing actually concerned in the end that I was going to need Tom to give me ass-to-mouth resuscitation.
Ass to mouth.
Fortunately, it didn't. But one thing
Important.
that became blaringly clear that Tom pointed out on that train travel was the fact that I was not being subtle in the fact I couldn't breathe. You know, you don't really get the choice when your body's there like, sir, we're lacking this thing that we need every waking moment of the life. You know, your body tends to react in a, holy shit, we're going to die sort of way. So everyone on the train should have known that what was going on. Not one person even glanced back to see what was going on. Not one. And I was like, if anything defines England better than a country that both has universal healthcare but also has a population where you could be dying 6 feet from them and they would just look at you like, could you do that somewhere else, please? It's quite inconvenient to die near me.
Oh god, it really was. It really was like that. It was amusing. I'm not gonna lie. From where I was sat, at least, which
One of
was
my
next to
oldest-
Kieran.
I was about to say, this is one of my oldest friends being like, I had a great time watching you suffocate. It was funny.
It was amusing. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was. Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about? What are you here for today? We're already way off topic. Yes,
So I
today's
believe, according to the notes,
according to the notes, according to the title of the podcast
Of the
and the stream, today we are talking about the English breakfast. It is an institution as old as going to other countries and stealing everything that's not nailed down. And if it is nailed down, thanks for the nails. It is as British an institution as covering our country in red, white, and blue every time our leader gets older or whatever. What? It's as,
or dies.
or dies. Yeah, that was no. They took down all the flags when she died.
Oh yeah,
That is in the topic
that's-
list to cover. That's going to be a fun one.
We'll change Prime Minister in 5 minutes. It's fine. By the time we get to the politics episode, there's going to be so much to cover.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Hey, Kieran, want to
It's
come for the
been-
politics once?
It's been a lot to write my dissertation about. About
Yeah.
my dissertation today.
Oh yeah.
Do you go to
That's
every
gonna be fun.
dissertation meeting going, when's is there a new
So-
Prime Minister yet?
So today I went through and Control F'd the name of the Prime Minister throughout the entire document, and that's every week.
Okay, anyway, back on topic. What's the great British institution of today?
The English breakfast.
Yummers.
It is a meal consisting of an excessive amount of deceased pig, along with 3
Yes.
times your daily recommended intake of carbohydrates. And it is
There's
glorious.
a reason. There is a reason I'm this fat.
It is-
Just saying.
It is glorious. So, for any Americans who might be watching or listening to this, the English breakfast consists normally of the following: sausages, bacon, eggs, hash brown, beans, toast, grilled tomato, mushroom. And either a tea or a coffee. Usually a tea. We are British after all. So, other optional items include black pudding. I think that's just about the only optional item on breakfast, isn't it? Other than the way you have your eggs.
It's the only regular.
Only
optional
regular.
extra.
I have
Yeah,
seen.
there's plenty of people that modify it, but yeah, I like black pudding's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that people regularly ask
yeah.
for, and you wouldn't be surprised if someone had it. You'd still look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's an English breakfast. It's
Yeah.
just
Actually, I have seen there's a hotel in London that in their restaurant they have bone marrow on their breakfast.
bone marrow.
Yeah, it's like it's a type of breakfast that you pay £40 for. So
Of
that
course.
that explains a
course.
lot.
Rich people are weird.
There's a video on YouTube, Sorted Food Best Breakfast in London. If you go and watch that, you see a variety of examples of an English breakfast. One, what we call a regular English breakfast. One that's scallops and bacon in a roll, butty, balm, however the hell you want to call it. Actually, let's have that debate now. Butty, balm, roll, cob? What are we calling it? What is the roll that
Butty.
you put your bacon in?
Buddy.
Butty, yeah.
Butty. Okay,
butty.
good. We're unanimously agreed on butty. That's good.
If you go north, it's cob. Because cob is like.
Or if you go further north than that, it becomes balm.
Because balm, yeah.
Scotland, they call it a balm. Because Scotland's weird.
Isn't balm what you put on your lips?
Yeah, or what we call the army, balmy.
So if I went to
A little
Scotland,
bit of balm. Other brands are available.
oh, I see. So when you go to Scotland, you don't eat
Well, that was saying that.
your butty. You just rub it around your lips to, make them healthy and nice and
Oh,
shiny.
this is better.
To be fair, the amount of grease in your average bacon sandwich, you could actually improve your lips with that, especially for chaps. Let's be honest. And if it's from Glasgow, it's double deep fried. So they fry the bacon, put it in the sandwich, then chuck the whole thing back into the fryer.
Oh no! When you wanna give your girlfriend a kiss, but you've just had your butty, so your lips slip off of her like you're on an ice rink. Just hey, honey. Mwah,
It's called. They refer to. I can't remember whether it's full English or fish and chips, but one of them is referred to as a Glasgow salad because everything is fried. I think it's the full English breakfast. But
Salad, I love it.
I've heard it referred to colloquially as a Glasgow salad.
Oh,
Is it because it's the healthiest thing they do?
Yes, because it comes with beans.
oh,
There you go.
Scotland's the only part of the UK
Yeah.
I've not been to yet, and considering how much they don't like England, I should probably go up there before they shut the border and leave. And
Oh, they'll definitely love you, Kieran. You're
Oh.
like quintessential British.
I'm
They
the
definitely
most
hate you, Kieran.
offensively. I say I'm the most offensively Englishman who's ever lived.
Yeah.
Anyone who meets me on first glance might assume I come from wealth, might assume I'm like 274th in line to the throne, might assume, and unfortunately, I am just a
None of those
poverty.
things.
I'm just a
I've-
poverty-stricken commoner. I just happen to speak in a way that people can understand, as opposed to, "You are my liver,
You're right, sunshine. Bring my bacon butty out to my tractor, like.
See, I've lived in all 4 southwestern counties. I was born in Dorset. I've lived in Devon.
He was born
I've
in the
lived in Cornwall,
1930s.
and obviously I lived in Somerset. So I've lived in all 4 of the main, like, southwest counties. I'm like such a mix of all of the farmers. It's
All of the
Burridge-
farmers, like.
Burridge, do you know what the irony is? By living in all 4 counties, you actually are still in the top 5% of most diverse people in this entire region of England.
They're not
that
even
is
wrong.
so true compared to the fact I live in Cornwall. That is so true.
Exactly. Anyway, English breakfast.
Yeah.
So, Tom, what are we actually? Because naturally, we're 3 white guys who are all nerds. So naturally, we're going to get really heated about something that doesn't matter. So, what are we actually arguing about here for English breakfast? Like, what am I fighting you on exactly?
Well,
What's Burridge fighting me on?
we're
And
not-
you 2 fighting
well,
each other
We're
on?
not
feel
strictly
like I'm-
arguing. We're having a discussion.
Damn
Although
you.
I feel like out of the 3 of us, I am the only one that has the beans on the breakfast. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, most of the time I don't have the beans. Occasionally I do, but like beans. How do I say this? Right, to anyone who likes beans,
Beans are shit.
Like,
I'll put it out there right now.
you know,
I fucking hate beans.
I think I think it's okay to say that beans are fine, but I don't think you can physically like something with such a bland taste. Like, I'm
Beans-
sorry, but they do not have a very impactful taste to me, which is why I don't have them much. Like, they're inoffensive to eat, but like when I eat baked beans, and this has not just been like in Weatherspoons where they fish them out of the bins. Like, even having baked beans in an establishment where I'm arguably paying too much for baked beans. I don't know. There's just something lacking about them for me personally. Like, there just really is something that just I eat it and I'm like, I could have just not put that in my mouth and I'd feel exactly the same.
Yeah,
Have you guys ever put something in your mouth and thought, "Oh, there's basically nothing in there"? Just random examples.
Very small one. Very small. No. Yeah, so beans, not a fan. It's the texture for me. I'm a bit weird. I get very strange about food textures. It's the reason why I don't like pasties is that you got all those textures mashed into one in a fucking pastry wrapper. It's like,
you don't like pasties?
no, I don't like pasties.
I mean, it's just one of those things you never
hang on,
ask.
Hang on. What is this I've heard? Hang on a minute. Oh god, I can hear the Cornish. They're all charging towards you right now. Tom, run
Good.
while you can.
Get them to bring me some Cornish cider. I'll be happy.
I was about to say. Sorry, right, back to the beans. That just surprised me a little bit. Burridge, so
Yeah.
you like beans? You're our bean of this conversation.
He's our bean advocates.
I like baked beans on a breakfast. I like because I don't really like having salt. I don't like ketchup and brown sauce and that. So for me, that's
brown
like
sauce.
the beans are the thing that like makes the breakfast not dry.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't need.
But I do agree with you. They're not always the most flavoursome. Like 100%, I agree with you there. They're not always the most flavoursome. I kind of wanted to make my own at some point because you can get like, is it the haricot beans or something?
Yeah,
and
it's
then you like
haricots. Field
yeah.
beans.
So yeah,
Mm.
I wanted to try and make my own just to see if I could make like some really nice flavoursome beans
Okay, I
Spruce
feel
them up a bit.
like
because that could be fun. Yeah,
we need to revisit this episode at some point when we have access to cooking facilities and actually just live cook a full English breakfast from scratch. Make
Oh,
your own
yeah.
beans type level of shit.
Oh
I-
yeah,
I-
yeah.
I could pre-make
I
a
look
bread
forward-
dough and we could bake bread for toast.
I look
we could do
forward to
this.
I look forward to
Sourdough.
picking them. Yes, and then pick them. I can go out. I can pick some mushrooms, and then Tom can look at me like, "The fuck did you bring some fungus to my breakfast?" for?"
Actually, no, you'd be wrong.
And then I'll be there like, yeah, mushrooms.
I actually kind of like mushrooms now. In a
Oh,
surprise plot twist.
Developments. Developments. Let's
yes,
go. Let's hear
so-
about this.
Brief update for people watching. So Tom has in past, how do I put this politely? He has looked at my plate whenever it has had mushrooms on it, and has questioned why I'm eating fungus.
Yep.
That is normally it's fungus or fungi. He never actually calls them mushrooms. Mainly because I think he wants me to think of what could grow between my toes if I don't shower for 2 weeks. It's like, why would you put that on your plate, you gross freak?
I think the strangest thing about
Fungus.
mushrooms is they're not even a plant. They're their own kingdom. They're separate from
Yeah.
animals and plants and viruses and bacteria. They are just different. And yet we're still like, yeah, cool, put that shit on my breakfast, fam. Love it.
I mean, to be fair, you do have to wonder, and like this is for most things as well. Like, for example, if you came across a strawberry plant and had no idea what it was, strawberries generally at least look like an appealing bright red berry. Even if you don't like it, they have a general nice aesthetic to them.
Yeah.
Mushrooms tend to grow in soggy and rather sort of, I wouldn't say depressing, but certainly not the most clinical kind of places compared to other plants. So you do wonder the first bloke that was like, look down at this soggy, mushroom capped thing and was just there like, it's soft, it's squidgy, it smells weird. I'm going to put this in my mouth. I want to see what it tastes like.
Mushrooms literally grow in shit.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, mushroom farms will order, like, chicken manure by the ton to make mushrooms with. Or to
So
grow
mushrooms-
mushrooms in.
So mushrooms grow with the same input as TikTok then?
Yes. But the
Yes.
mushrooms grow from mushrooms are the fruit of a mycelial network. Like, basically the entirety of what we would consider the plant of the mushroom is underground. We literally just eat the fruit that appears on the surface.
To be fair, that's
And
understandable.
it's quite nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. So Tom,
Yeah,
right?
no,
how
I-
did this change come about exactly? What?
So I started having shiitake mushrooms in Japanese dishes, and it's kind of like a gateway drug, really. I was like, tell you what, these
Taco mushrooms are very nice.
these mushrooms in this ramen, lush. Let's try some more. And then, like, a while went by where I was just eating shiitake, and I cooked a Japanese veggie rice dish that had like king oyster mushrooms and shiitake and all sorts in it. And I was like, this is really nice. And then I had just the baby button mushrooms with like cream cheese stuffed in them as part of a tapas set from Lidl. And I was like, fuck, these are nice. So no, yeah, I'll eat a mushroom.
They're very versatile.
They are. They
And
go in
they
the...
kind of add, even on their own, like on a breakfast, they add that nice kind of little bit of flavour.
You got that
but subtle
slime.
sometimes. Yeah,
Especially
It's
when-
just think about it. it's
When
just
they're
like-
grilled, they have a very unusual texture.
yeah,
Which they
yeah.
are on an English
It's-
breakfast. They are grilled,
But
but
it's
it's
but this
nice.
is the thing though. It's very bizarre when you think about sort of like you say, Tom. They're entirely different kingdom,
yeah.
and like you say, Burr, sort of the grease, the sort of slime texture that they can have, depending. It's weird though how well they taste in sort of because obviously some foods generally are best eaten on their own. You know, you don't want to sort of like stack your fork with 5 different things with certain foods. Certain foods you're just like, right, this on its own is fine. with anything else, it takes away. But mushrooms work surprisingly well to just be like, you know what? I have a bit of sausage, I have a bit of bacon, I have a bit of tomato, and then I'm just gonna fucking add that mushroom on there, and it just works. And it's the same for like, you know, if you have it with like dinner options as well, it works surprisingly well as sort of a nice thing. You can be like, you know what? I want a bit of variety when I have my food, so I'm gonna, instead of just having this one thing, I can add the mushroom in, and it is delicious.
Yeah,
Very versatile.
they're versatile outside of like breakfast as well. Like, one of the most common foods you get for, if you look for like a vegetarian meal, is like a portobello mushroom stuffed full of other crap. Like, you fill that bitch with cheese, and it's like, this is good.
Yeah.
I do like mushrooms now, so yeah, I'm on the side of mushrooms on breakfast.
Hey,
Only
there we
problem-
go.
the
We
place-
have a convert.
The place I usually go for breakfast, mushrooms are an optional extra that you pay for, so I don't tend to have them.
Yeah.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, just as a quick aside, please, I hope you're taking notes for Tom's dating advice. The first and best advice he just gave was, you fill that bitch with cheese and
Important life advice. You fill that bitch with cheese and
That's I hope you're
That's
taking
good.
notes. One day we can compile together a full small book with Tom's life advice, and it can just be random out of context quotes.
I feel like that could be a Tom's Tavern all on its own. Just build Tom a girlfriend.
Build Tom a girlfriend.
Of all
Or a
the notes
boyfriend.
we've accumulated from like other episodes.
Yeah.
Make Tom's perfect partner.
So for the moment, we figured out she must be edible and made predominantly of cheese.
Yes. I like this already. You can stop right there. That's perfect. We need more data.
The data's a little corrupt at the moment. We need a bit more.
Someone, why don't you better start compiling this?
Who would have thought that who would have thought
Good.
that someone suited to be a computer scientist and someone studying to be a political scientist would come together to research how make Tom girlfriend ooh woo?
Right, okay.
That's amazing.
Google
Right.
Sheets.
He's making an Excel spreadsheet now.
Attribute.
This is getting out of hand.
Attribute. Right, so the attribute is made of cheese.
Made of cheese.
And was it edible?
Well, edibles made out of cheese and edible are basically the same category.
Yeah,
so
true. Made of cheese.
Unless you find a cheese that's inedible, I'll even eat Stilton, which is mouldy chease. So you know, any cheese.
Oh, so
is
basically,
good.
if they've not washed in a while, you'll be fine.
Oh God, no. No. I hate
perfect
it.
partner. It has one column. It's attribute. And then
Attribute.
it's just all the attributes that I will compile.
Good.
Good. We can stack it up. Okay,
Good.
so we've come to from the sounds of it, we've got a brief consensus on beans, but that's because beans are, let's be honest, beans are inoffensive as a food. They're like rice.
I will always ask for them to be removed, but I don't mind the sauce. It's just the bean itself I'm not a fan of. But weirdly enough,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean, Tom. It's like, you know, even if someone ignored you and gave you beans with your breakfast, it's not the kind of food that's going to be there, and you'll be like, oh, well, this is just ruined. I
ain't gonna like ask for the manager over them putting beans on my plate. Let's put it that way.
Tom, middle name Karen.
Yep. Yeah, literally. Right. What's the next? We've done mushrooms and beans so far, and we've all agreed that they belong on a breakfast.
Okay. What about eggs?
Eggs. Yeah, eggs. Eggs are simple.
Eggs? Yeah,
straightforward.
Eggs.
Okay.
Definitely.
So eggs. We're all in agreement.
What format though are we talking? Because there's debate about this. Well, there's not debate.
So,
there's different schools of thought.
I
This is
like
philosophy
mine, like generally fried.
With a soft yolk.
Yeah.
So I can dip bread.
Yeah, no, you only have the fully cooked yolk if you're having it in a sandwich, because I really don't want it dripping everywhere.
But then you could look like a proper lorry driver.
Yeah. If I wanted to do that, Tom, I'd hang my arm out of the window for a bit and get sunburn on just one arm.
Look, guys.
See, that just made me laugh because my dad's been a lorry driver, as has Tom.
Same.
So it just made me giggle when I said that.
Yeah, Kieran's dad as well. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, so we're all...
We're all professional lorry drivers.
I just realised Britain is somehow in a shortage of lorry drivers, and yet all three of us are just here like, Father,
Well,
Papa!
yeah. The problem is, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, my dad's getting too old to be doing lorries now anyway.
Yeah, but Burridge, you're
He
like a
can't do
million
it
years
anymore.
old anyway, so I dread to imagine
Yes,
how old.
I
how old
am.
Dad is.
An ancient eldritch entity at this point, Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ancient
for those that
bitch
don't,
entity.
for those that don't know, if you want to find Burridge's dad as a driver, you just want to look up lorry driver UK Tutankhamun, and you might realise why he's a little old for it. He still looks pretty good for 2,000 odd years, I must admit.
Yeah.
Poor Papa Burridge.
But I will say, I also do like the hotel in London did this as well.
Travelodge.
Yeah, that's the one.
Scrambled egg.
They did scrambled eggs, so I like both. I'm happy to have either.
Right, okay. Let me throw this one at you as a curveball. IKEA serves their eggs at breakfast as single egg omelettes.
Ooh.
Single egg omelettes.
It's easy to prepare. You don't have any runny yolks causing problems, and you can just batch cook a shitload of them and whack them all out.
Mm.
Do you know?
John,
Yeah,
no, I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed.
yeah,
to
I'm
that.
not
I mean,
opposed to
It's
that.
nice. I
John-
like it.
Do you know what I think? I think we're coming very quickly to the realization that, you know what, a fried egg, I think we can all probably agree is the default for an English breakfast. But there's no real wrong way
No.
that's coming to mind to have your egg with it. Like, I don't even care if you want to be able to dunk your soldiers in your fucking boiled egg with your English
See,
breakfast. I mean,
for
it'd be a bit
me-
weird, but like, I wouldn't be like, "You're a bastard! I'll kill you."
For the flavour side of things, a scrambled egg is really good because you could just add all these flavours to it
Yeah.
when you're
Yes.
preparing it. So, like, you know, you add your salt and pepper, it just adds like
Omelette
that
as well.
omelette as well. So it adds that bit of seasoning that you wouldn't otherwise get.
They're more versatile.
fried egg is very basic. Yeah.
Fried egg is slap that bitch in a pan with some oil and wait like 5 minutes and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. It is the. It is the basic. It is the basic white guy of egg preparation.
It is the default option on the character creator for a cooked egg. Omelette, I'd say, is the most versatile in terms of what you can add to it because I've heard of all sorts of stuff being added to omelette, like onions, cheese, sausages, egg. Imagine a toad in the hole, but with just omelette and sausage. That sounds amazing.
So I've done something like that
Have
with
you?
my dad before.
Yeah.
Yeah. He showed me how he does his omelettes, and then I made one with like onions, cheese, sausages, bit of bacon. I think it was as well, like the whole lot, salt, pepper. You know, mwah.
It seemed like such a mad thing, but I used pancetta, which is basically expensive Italian bacon cubes, to make a cheese, bacon, and egg, an omelette.
An omelette.
I was gonna say cheese, bacon, and egg, but egg is the ingredient in omelette.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, for those wondering, Tom's heart replacement surgery is to take place tomorrow at 12:05 because he doesn't take care of his heart. He just looks at it and goes, how much food can you cope with?
Listen, I'm aiming to die before the ecological collapse begins, and it's happening at a pretty quick rate at this point. So I'm out. See you later. See you in hell, boys. See you in hell.
We at least know the mushrooms will survive, so it's a good thing you like them.
Yeah.
The fungi are resilient.
Let's be honest, if they have anything in hell, it's going to be mushrooms. It seems like a sort of demonic thing. Right, okay, so
they'll be growing out of you.
We can all agree on eggs.
Yeah.
So, sausages. Every breakfast needs a sausage.
Yeah,
That
essentially.
sounds very
Sorry, ladies that are listening. Every breakfast needs a sausage. Turns out, Thomas just decreed.
I have decreed. Every breakfast does, in fact, need a sausage. And just for anyone out there from overseas who's listening, we are talking a English sausage, not a German sausage. They are very different. Or not really. European in general sausages are very different to ours.
I'm not really a fan of German sausage.
I love German sausages. German sausage, me. Yeah, no, like if I go to like any German market, I'll always try and have a currywurst or a Käsewurst, which is curry sausage or cheese sausage, in case you don't speak German. Or some kind of Weisswurst is quite nice as well. I'll tell you what, I'd love to go to Germany during Oktoberfest. I'd probably be permanently wankered, but that's always a good thing.
I was about to say, if you're permanently wankered, you don't realise how much money you've spent. So might be a great way of.
The Blue Tail finances might we might file for bankruptcy after Tom's been to Oktoberfest.
Well, yeah, actually, I was going to say. I wish we could get the lads together for just like one day in London at Christmas so we could go to Hyde Park Winter Wonderland. It's like a German style event in Hyde Park. It's overpriced as fuck, but the atmosphere there is so cool. I love it. You can go there and get drunk. Easy peasy. Nice selection of German beers. Probably the same ones that I had from Lidl the other week. But, it's quite nice.
I mean, the thing is, for like the sausage, I go back to the English breakfast, English sausage.
He's bringing himself back on topic.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not going to.
Not wrong.
So there's not really any wrong. Like, I'm really struggling to think. Is there anything to actually discuss about sausage beyond it's there, and don't bring it to me like it's caked in charcoal?
I would say you just want a plain pork sausage.
Yeah.
You don't really want a flavoured. Like, I wouldn't say I'd want a pork and leek or like a pork and apple sausage on breakfast.
Or like a caramelised onion.
If you want sweetness on your breakfast, you have it in the beans.
Yes.
Beans are the only thing that should bring any sweetness to breakfast, except your tea or coffee.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'd agree with that, yeah.
Just a plain pork sausage.
Yeah.
Maybe peppered.
Maybe like a Cumberland or something.
Yeah, a Lincolnshire Cumberland.
Yeah.
Local farm shop to me here does a sausage called a Snowdon Sizzler. That's a nice seasoned peppered sausage. It's really nice, but I'd say that's
if it's like seasoned with a bit of salt and pepper. Yeah, that's all it needs. It doesn't need apple, all these other different flavors they add.
None of that.
That's more of a dinner thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
like you have a flavoured sausage at dinner rather than...
You put that in a toad in a hole, or you have it with mash and beans or peas and gravy.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into the mash argument, because that's a whole thing. Do you remember the argument? Was it whose chat was it? Was it your chat? It was your chat, wasn't it, Burge? That we came in and everyone was arguing against Smash.
I mean, Smash is disgusting.
Smash is fine.
No.
I wouldn't say it's as good as like a proper mashed potato, but Smash will outlive the nuclear apocalypse. So they literally have it in Fallout. So well, they have instant mash.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's I don't know if you can laud a positivity for a food item
if it survives a nuke.
Yeah, but say if it survives a nuke, fine. That probably tells you the quality of the food to begin with, really, doesn't it?
Look, cockroaches survive nukes as well, and they're delicious. No,
welcome to Brexit Britain, everyone. Yeah. The full English breakfast now just consists of cockroaches styled like beans and tomato.
You've heard of all the problems we've been having in getting like good pay in Britain. This is the stage we're at. I can afford beer, but have to eat cockroaches.
Okay. Ooh, right. I've got the next food item I think will cause a little more debate, and it's bacon.
Bacon,
because. Obviously, some people it has to be as crispy as a packet of crisps. To other people, it has to be crispy, but not. It can't be like you grab it and just it crumbles into bits.
Still nice
and then obviously, people like me, I should say, I like my bacon softer, and I know to many people that is heresy.
No,
and
I love
many
soft
people
bacon.
look at me like I should be shot in the head.
I 100% agree with you. So when bacon's like fully cooked crispy, I'm not a fan of the burned taste you get in like things like that. I don't like that taste. It just doesn't sit well with me at all. So I actually agree with you. I like soft bacon, and I also prefer to go for the medallions because I'm not a huge fan of all the fat.
That's where all the flavour is, though.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I can make the flavour up with all the other things anyway, so
To be fair, fat on most meat seems to be very much a like. I think the majority of people still agree that fat generally is a tasty part of most meats, but it does seem to very much fluctuate when it comes to stuff like bacon, anything pork, really.
Yeah.
Is to like, how much does it become too much, and the fat taste and such feels a bit too much. 'Cause I
It's
know
also a
some
bit
people.
too jelly-like as well. I'm just not a fan of the.
It's the reason that belly pork is one of the cheapest cuts of pork you can get. It's because it's so fatty, and a lot of people don't like it. But I'm a fan.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Tom. I'd love it. I mean, it's obviously, again, health and safety, kids. Do not just live on that.
Do
as
not
your
chug
main
the
meat.
bacon fats. Don't do it.
Meat is unhealthy enough generally.
Yeah.
Without you, and before anyone inhales deeply and accuses me of lecturing them because I'm a vegetarian or a vegan, I assure you I'm not. I'm just trying to avoid you from having a heart
Excuse me,
attack.
what the fuck?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because meat is fine. It's the really processed meat you don't want to be eating.
Red meat in
processed,
limited,
isn't it?
Red meat as well in excessive quantities is actually very bad for you. In limited quantities, red meat is quite good for you, but it's suggested that you should only eat red meat like 2 or 3 times a week. Or something, I don't know. I'm not. I think... None of this is medical advice. I'm not a medical professional.
No.
Call my sister for that.
Medical advice.
I believe.
Other than don't drink the bacon fat, I can tell you what that one right now. Don't do it.
In terms of various animals we farm to eat, I believe fish is by far the healthiest option in terms of all different types of meat, and then
chickens.
After that, it's sort of like chicken and such, and then
chicken.
Like Tom says, sort of red meat is, I think, the one that generally. I can't remember why exactly it sort of clogs up your internals, for lack of any sort of educated vernacular, because I am not a meatologist.
Not a meatologist. I'm not a carnivore. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I never studied meat science in school. But no, I think it's just the way it sort of sits like around the heart, for example. And so I think just if you're eating it excessively, it seems to just, for lack of a better phrase, sit with you more than other kinds of meat.
But yeah,
it makes you crazy.
So I like my bacon less cooked. I don't mind it when it's a bit crispy, especially the fat. Crispy fat's quite nice. I don't like it cremated. That's for certain. And I will say that I'm not a fan of streaky bacon on a breakfast.
No, same.
Back bacon all the way.
Yeah, I
medallions
agree with you.
Also, yeah, but back bacon, in my opinion, is the superior tier of bacon. Streaky is like, what even is this? Is this a bacon rasher crisp? Which is what the bacon rasher crisps are modelled after, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, actually, hold on, just to go on a tangent. Was anyone here a fan of scampi and lemon knickknacks as a crisp? No.
No.
So I don't do fish, as you know, at all. So
they bought them back, and I'm very happy about it. I can't wait to find some. I've missed them. But yeah, what were you saying about bacon, Kieran?
Well, I mean, just like with both of you, you sort of got that softer night. I mean, I'm again, unlike you, Tom. I think generally I'm not any sort of crisp on my bacon. I don't really want. Again, that's just for me. And I suppose this goes to what you mentioned earlier, sort of how you're very particular on the texture of food. I find the texture of crispiness on bacon to be as repulsive as the feeling of eating it. Like I just something so. I think the best way I could describe it would be it feels, to try and eat crispy bacon to me, it feels like trying to eat a meat flavored crisp. And that idea is just as disgusting to me as eating crispy bacon, which is why I like it to be softer, because that, I suppose, like with most other meats you have, there are. I'm struggling to think off the top of my head any other common day sort of meat item you'd have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner that you eat in a sort of crispy, very hard kind of format. It all tends to be more, softer, or at least sort of soft-ish. So I think maybe that's just it for me, I suppose. Maybe I've just sort of, every other meat item I eat is like, ooh, I know how this is meant to taste. And then there's this one outlier that's like, bitch, hell no, I got different taste, yo. You're gonna have to crunch me up. And I'm just like, no, please stop it. It's
No,
violating my mouth.
Please. No, yeah. I love bacon.
But so
I'm a bacon convert in a way, because there was a point up until only a couple of years ago where I didn't eat it.
Yeah.
It's only in the last couple of years I've started eating
bacon.
it. I know, heresy.
Bacon.
It's only the last couple of years Burge has started to eat. We've been desperately worried about him.
Yeah, right, okay.
we've been desperately... The amount he wasn't eating was stressing him so much he was putting weight on.
What they don't know is I was in the corner munching on Pringles the entire time.
Oh no, Burge! Oh my god! Right, sorry to go on a brief tangent, but like you mentioned Pringles, and we're on the topic of food, so I have to bring something up that I may get judged harshly for.
Here we go.
Oh god!
It's
but equally, people may just be very confused, or maybe one of you will understand. But especially when I was younger, I just, again, I was a fussy kid. Like, I'm still a fuss ass now, but that's just generally, there's a lot of things I just don't like the taste of. But when I was a kid, it was very much, I refuse to try this because I'm a little idiot. So
that was me.
But one thing I discovered weirdly, and I could not tell you when, but obviously everyone generally accepts sour cream and onion Pringles are the superior Pringle.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, that's 2-1. That's a majority. We win.
We'll say though, Texas barbecue is up there.
I combined that one day when I was a wee idiot as opposed to the big idiot.
A wee lad.
With grapes.
Oh God.
I don't know why. I can't tell you why. But there
is,
for some reason, the power of the sour cream and onion taste mixed with a grape, to me, tastes surprisingly nice, and I can't tell you why exactly.
No, sweet and savoury very often works. Have you ever tried a digestive biscuit and cheese?
Yes.
It's so good.
Isn't that just a cheesecake?
Yes, no, basically, but no, because cheesecake's sweet cheesecake's sweet all the way through, though, really, because you mix your
because they use like a
it's phenomenal
cream cheese, don't
they? Yeah, it's cream cheese, icing, sugar, and a flavouring, basically. But like digestive biscuits and cheese, such a good combination. People have done chocolate digestives. I'm not quite brave enough for that. But digestives and cheese.
See, I've sometimes had it where I've eaten a bit of chocolate and then I've eaten a pack of ready salted or something, and it's a strange combination of chocolate and but it works so well.
It's apparently cheese and chocolate's a thing as well, though. So
cheese.
I've never tried cheese and chocolate together. I must admit.
No,
nor have I.
But I mean, most people though, I've done the stereotypical cheese and grapes and such like that. But I mean, generations of people know that works.
The French,
so generations of the French know it works.
Yeah. But no, it works so well. Right, what were we talking about? Bacon.
Yeah, well, bacon we've agreed upon. Yeah, we've really agreed upon. So
right, grilled tomato.
Yes, give Daddy his grilled tomatoes.
I'm not a fan of tomatoes yet, so I've not come round on them yet. Like mushrooms.
Okay. I'm outnumbered for the first time in the evening. No, but there's something so delicious about a full tomato that's been cut in half, grilled properly, and you get to put it in your mouth, and it's so warm and delicious, but also so juicy, and it's so good.
Kieran,
to anyone
are you coming back here?
I'm not thinking of something else. I'm not thinking of something else.
Are you coming back here for Christmas? Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
Okay, cool. I'll take you down to where I normally have my English breakfasts, and I'll get you to come try it.
Excellent.
They do a tomato. They do recognise me down there, so.
Yeah, but Tom, at least when you walk in, because obviously I am a slim bean.
Yeah.
You can at least be like, look, I found this lone anorexic on the street. Please help me feed him. He's
come and have some food.
He's in desperate need. Please, just kill a whole pig and put it on his plate.
Please,
Fuck
sir. He wants some more.
it.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
yeah. I'm not a fan of tomato.
So what is it about tomato the two of you don't like? Is it just the taste? Is it?
It's
like,
the taste.
what
I
is it?
think.
taste, texture. Just I don't know. Just not a fan.
Yeah, I would say it's the texture, but weirdly, I really enjoy pomegranate, which is basically just sweet stuffed tomato. In terms of like the seed texture,
that's the same for
because
me.
the seeds are
I
wrapped
don't
in
like
something.
anything. I don't like seeded things. You know, like so. If I get a jam, I generally go for a seedless because I genuinely don't like.
Tend to get
the
jam.
only time I eat something that has like a seed is like a sesame seed bun.
Ooh,
That's about the only
I like
time
sesame seeds.
that I would eat something with seeds on of any kind. I just can't do it for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the flavour of tomatoes.
It's not even that tomatoes are offensive to me. They're not. If it was on my plate, and me and Kieran were having a breakfast, I would just give Kieran my tomato.
That's what I do when I have a tomato. I give it to someone else.
Yeah, just give it to someone else who I know likes it.
Unlike when I put vinegar on my steaks and people suddenly come for my throat.
Yeah, gotta love a bit of vinegar.
That is justifiable. I'm gonna come stab you.
Yeah.
Now, my go-to steak is soy sauce and pepper. So.
Oh, there you go.
It's good, but yeah. So tomato, we disagree on, but again, to each their own.
No one seems violently opposed.
No,
But then again, we've got. I think we've got one that we'll all agree on. The hash brown.
Yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that's literally. I'm typing.
100%.
I'm writing down what we've already covered. So that was literally what I was typing.
Let's say we come to hash brown. All of us. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
We move on.
This is where. I meant to say the best breakfast sausage you can get is in Wetherspoons. The spoons,
unless you get your own from a butcher's, of course.
Well, yeah, but the best, like, you go out and you buy a breakfast and you sit there and eat it. The best one you can get is a Wetherspoons.
Oh, okay, no, hold on. Can we put the caveat on that of if you can't afford to go somewhere nice, Wetherspoons is the best.
Okay, so the best one
budget, fair enough. But like, come on, man, that's just flatly false. If you think about.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've never been to anywhere posh for breakfast. So.
Oh, Tom, you're a theatre boy that travels to London constantly, so you
know
what?
Believe it or not, we don't tend to have. We either have breakfast at the hotel. Or at Wetherspoons, so.
Wow, look
theatre
at
tickets,
you carrying your Wetherspoons tradition.
Theatre tickets are bloody expensive, mate. We can't afford that and something more expensive than spoons.
Do you know what is funny when you tell me that, like, obviously, you know, it's not secret that theatre tickets are expensive, but it's just funny considering you also then match that with all the sort of jokes and memes about, like, you know, how's that liberal arts degree helping you? It's just that, like,
literally.
I suppose it depends because, you know, if you're the lead or you're the owner of the theatre, you're probably doing okay.
Yeah.
If you're one of the schlums at the back of like 20 people, I imagine you're being paid somewhere in the region of fuck off. You think you're getting paid?
They get paid well enough, obviously, to turn up night in, night out. But you know, it's.
Yeah, but to say, I got paid well enough to turn up night in, night out at the supermarket. Doesn't mean I was paid well. I just got paid well enough.
That's exactly how I feel right now. I get paid okay compared to the other places.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it any more. I really want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, the sausage from Wetherspoons is made by the Welsh Sausage Company, or Langfords, and it turns out that for a while you were able to purchase them from Iceland. Not anymore, unfortunately. So you can't recreate the superior sausage at home. So I'll have to keep going to farm shops to get better sausages.
I don't know about you, Tom, but I can recreate the superior sausage at home. I just
behave, behave, child, behave.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I necessarily agree with Tom in saying that they're the best, but also
they're the best ones that you could go to any town in the country and ask for.
I will say they're
not better than like a Mackey's
sausage.
Yeah, it's just
they're very good. I guess I've got nothing to compare it to other than like a proper butcher's sausage, though. So, like, of course, I'm gonna be biased.
We need to go out and have more breakfast in different places.
I think we do.
Do
No,
a
I
big
think. Do you know
list.
what? That is not a bad idea. We need to go and have breakfast. We need to like have breakfast at different places,
Right.
and then just compile a list of what our favorites
Okay.
are. Make that an idea.
That's part of what I've done here. That's why I went back to the sausage. I will
It's an
say
excuse to go out.
the Weatherspoon sausage is vastly superior to the sausage at the local cafe that I go to and IKEA. Their breakfast sausages are great, but Weatherspoon sausages are just still better, in my opinion. What I will say, though, is the best hash brown that I've found anywhere, in terms of just crispness alone, wins it, is IKEA.
I've not had an IKEA hash brown.
Their hash browns.
I've not had an IKEA breakfast. I've had meatballs from them.
Meatballs are so good. But no, an IKEA hash brown is just like a Weatherspoon's hash brown is also quite good.
Yeah.
Do
But
you know what?
IKEA hash browns, so crunchy.
On the topic of breakfast, though, right? And this is not
on the topic of breakfast. That's the whole fucking podcast. So that's the whole
English
episode.
breakfast. Okay, so but not on the specific food items in it.
Yeah.
And not even necessarily on the quality. But all three of us have got a shared appreciation for something to do with breakfast, and that is relating to work. So again, I shall not mention any specific company, but all
Sunday
three of us,
morning breakfast.
all three of us worked in the same establishment, and after, as particularly on Sundays, all three of us were often in. And
shout out to Debbie on the Sunday morning breakfast.
Absolutely.
Yep. And before they scrapped it, we all ended up going up at roughly the same time. We got in at different times, but we all ended up
9:30 every Sunday morning because I would finish change run, and then we'd be upstairs.
Yeah, because we did different jobs. I was on the shop floor; those guys were down at the checkouts. But we all, fortunately, it coalesced for all of us to essentially either want or need to have our.
It worked out because I was in at 8 o'clock for change run, and Tom or someone else would be with me for that. And then by 9:30 we were done, and we're like, right, we need to be back down for 10. Let's go and have half an hour now. And then we'd go and have half an hour. Kieran would join us. We'd sit there and all have breakfast. Oh. Yeah,
because I'd have been there since 7 because I negotiated with my boss to come in an hour early.
I remember.
So leave an hour earlier.
That
was just so. That was such a good. Do you know what? My point is how it was such a small thing, but in one sense, but equally, it really did add a lot to the morale to start your day, where you could sit down, have at work after getting in at very early in the morning, so you're unlikely to have had time,
especially on a Sunday as well.
Especially on a Sunday. And to just be like, right, I've done a few hours of work. I get to sit down with my colleagues and actually have some warm, cooked
food
breakfast before I then have to go and do the rest of the day. And that it was just such a motivation boost for something that would not have cost the company, let's be honest, a huge amount of money. And for people to like scrap it, it's just one of those things where I think the breakfast symbolizes, in a way, a sort of just, if you're going to have it at work, it can be a very good morale booster for people to just be able to feel like, you sit down and you're not just having to get out your packed lunch to start the day with, or you're not just being like, oh, well, I have to go and, like, obviously, if you work someone that sells food, you don't have to go and buy off the damn shop in order to have your breakfast like down on the shop floor. You don't have to, or if you work someone that doesn't obviously sell food, you don't have to then go down the street to somewhere and get it. You can just be like, no, we've got an in-house cantina. I can go up, I can chat to the people that work behind there, and I can sit down with my friends and just chill before the rest of the day goes on, and I actually feel better for it.
And we'd normally discuss what we were going to do after work as well. We'd all finish roughly the same time, and then we'd all be like, let's go out later.
Let's go bowling.
Let's go do some bowling. Yeah, so we would discuss plans for the day. It was great.
Yeah, it was always great bringing Nico along to those.
Well, funnily enough, though, you mentioned about not having anyone. So obviously they don't, but they have started doing little things where, like, we transfer food to the canteen. So like little tins of baked beans and things. So like people have, like, there's one colleague I'm with at the moment. if she doesn't have her baked beans on toast in the evening on a Wednesday night, she's not a happy lady. So you know, they have added that allocation to allow that sort of thing, but obviously it's still not the same. You don't have the colleague cooking it, chatting with you. It's not there anymore. And I would argue that breakfast, while the ingredients were obviously sourced very cheaply, it wasn't the quality of the ingredients that made that breakfast. It was the mates you were sat with.
Yeah. You can make
enjoying the breakfast with.
You could make a terrible Subway breakfast sub good if you sat there and it's good conversation. But then you could make like the sketchiest pub in Britain good if you sat there and having a good chat.
No, Tom,
like here.
Tom, you make a great point in that. Like it very much parallels with the fact that, you know, if you want to just get fucking wasted, you're far better off just going to the supermarket and buying a shitload of alcohol for a third of what it would cost you to get the same amount in a pub. But you go to the pub for the socializing. That's what makes the drinks better than just sitting on your own at 9 at night going, I've not got a problem.
That's what Tom's Tavern's all about. We're here to emulate a pub atmosphere. And, you know, what I've paid for 3 bottles of this would cost me... wouldn't even get me 1 full bottle of Asahi. Like a 330ml bottle of Asahi. Well, the smaller size than this, because this is a 500. Like the 400 or whatever it is, the smaller one, would be like £5.75 out, or it's £5 for 3 down the local supermarket.
Do they sell them well enough to produce them in Europe, or?
Well, Asahi.
At that price, I'm assuming they produce them in Europe.
Yeah, it's made and bottled by Peroni in Italy.
Okay.
They're made on license.
I was about to say, I was just like, when you mentioned the price, I was like, there's no way that is only manufactured in Japan, because that would add a lot of extra money to that.
The strange thing is, Sapporo, one of its contenders, it isn't in the offer that you get 3 for £5. It's like $2.20 a can, which at that price you'd also probably assume, maybe Europe. Nope, manufactured in the Philippines, which is basically like distance-wise next to Japan from here. So it almost just doesn't make sense. Why is it produced on contract? I'm guessing because one country has looser export laws than the other. But
the Philippines is far less well regulated than Japan, so that's probably why.
But
saving overhead elsewhere.
Anyway, back to hash browns. Honourable mention: the McDonald's hash brown. It is by far the best hash brown, but because it's not on a full English, we can't include it in this list.
Although, as an extra little bonus I told Tom about the other day, they have now added to their breakfast menu the little hash brown mini waffles. You get 3 in a bag for the same price as a hash brown, but there is more potato. So it's the same price as a hash brown, but it is more potato overall because they're a bit thicker.
Okay.
I will say...
But so they have added those now as well.
McDonald's UK, if you're listening, I would like to request a product. I would like you to take a 20 McNuggets box and fill it side to side with hash browns, and I will buy it from you.
Yep. And actually, while we're requesting things from McDonald's on this tangent, bring back the breakfast bagels.
I always have a double sausage and McMuffin, so...
I mean,
and
I
2
do
extra hash
too,
browns.
but... But
3
the
hash browns
bagels... There's something about a bagel for breakfast when it's toasted with meats and things inside. It's just lovely.
Bagel.
Okay, it's just a lovely. I love a bagel.
A bagel.
A bagel. Obviously not on a full interest, full English. So, not part of this list, but honourable mention.
Yeah, honourable mention. Okay, right. So this one's going to be a bit weird. Still on the topic of hash browns, but I'm going to mix it up a little. Sautéed potatoes in the place of a hash brown.
Yeah, fine.
I'm not opposed. No.
I tell you what, it's served at the local cafe that I'm going to take anyone to when they're in the area.
Yeah.
But when I first saw it, I was like, this is kind of fucking weird. But I tell you what, though, it is so fucking good. And it's a lot less processed than hash brown, so it's kind of better for you. Really. It's a lot less involved salt and oil. That, and it's obviously cheaper for them to buy a get a big sack of spuds, wash them, chop them into thin slices, and fry them than it is to buy a get a big bag of hash browns. Because potatoes are cheap as shit. If you want to grow any crop in your back garden to save money, go for potatoes, because they have the highest yield per starting mass of any crop. Or just staring out the window or something.
No. Second monitor's over here.
Oh, okay.
So
No, he's about to be robbed.
Monitor.
About to be robbed. Someone's holding him at gunpoint.
Yeah, no, the angle of my camera makes it so it looks like I'm looking directly to my side, but I'm actually just slightly off.
Right, okay. I'd say we've got 2 more major ingredients of a breakfast.
2 more major ingredients.
Well,
okay,
one major and one additional that's an add-on always. It's never included in the base breakfast. So let's start with bread. Where do we stand on the bread in our breakfast? How do we like it? Do we like bread and butter? Do we like toast? Do we like fried bread? Or do we like a combination of all 3?
Fried bread is nice, but generally it's toast for the obvious reason.
Generally, for me, it's toast with butter.
Okay, right.
I like butter on my toast.
So
I
will say, I do Weatherspoon's toast. It used to be so much when they had the poppy seeded bread. It was so good.
Yeah,
they've stopped that now. But Weatherspoon's toast is made by the fact that it comes with Lurpak, and that costs more than a house right now. So,
well, yeah, they are security tagging it in a lot of supermarkets.
They actually, I've not seen. I don't tend to look at the butter though.
Not in my particular case, but they were doing it others.
I saw it once. A store in London was security tagging Cathedral City. But yeah,
no, buttered toast for me definitely. Although I do like fried bread as well, but the fried bread has to be like crisp. Fried bread is the one thing I do like crispy.
Yeah, fried bread needs to be. You can bend that bitch and it snaps.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want soggy bread. I want fried bread.
No. I either want.
I don't want oil bread.
With butter on it. I either want toast with butter on it, or I want a crispy fried bread. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the cafe local to me, the breakfast there that I have is called a cafe named Super, and that breakfast comes with 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 2 eggs, sautéed potatoes, beans if you want them. Fried bread that the egg sits on top of, and then either a slice of toast or a slice of bread, but the bread is or toast is this thick.
Oh,
and a tea or coffee, and for like £8, it's really well priced.
Right, I'm definitely coming to this cafe at some point.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
About to say, the 3 nerds
we're going for breakfast.
We're gonna go for darlings. We're gonna go for breakfast morning. It's gonna be so cute.
I will actually choose a day I'm off in December.
Okay.
And I will drive up for the day. And I will come and have this breakfast.
I'll see what my employment status is like at the time.
Well, same.
Yeah.
Guys, so don't worry. I'll see what my employment status is. Oh
student,
wait,
yeah.
I'm a bum student.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I will say that a good stack on your fork at that place is fried bread at the bottom with your egg in the middle and a sautéed potato on the top, and that is. I mean, it is basically pure carbs with the exception of the egg, but it is so fucking good. I love it.
So what you're saying is I may not walk out of there alive.
You take that risk everywhere you go, Burridge.
Anyway, every step I take
every step you take, every move you make.
Actually, ironically, you doing that reminds me of a TikTok I actually have to send you.
Okay, right.
I saw a TikTok and it just calls you out.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's great.
Okay. But yeah, I always go for bread and butter with mine to dip in my egg.
Okay.
I prefer the bread and butter to dip in my egg. It's more absorbent than toast.
Well, yes.
And I like my toast thin, but because it's a huge fucking half a loaf of bread, effectively.
I definitely prefer a thicker bread. A thicker toast.
Okay, yeah, you'll like this place then because the bread's like an inch thick.
Oh,
it is so good.
Sounds so good. I would have my bread and toast that thick if my toaster would even fit that, because my toaster doesn't.
You have to do that on the grill
from Tesco or wherever anyway. So
yeah, you'd have to do that on the grill.
Right,
or get one of the Travelodge conveyor ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One of the
to be fair, I love those.
I should just get myself one of those.
I love
those.
they're
great.
so cool.
I love them.
But right, okay. So the last ingredient that I'm going to put on this list of do or don't, before we go and do a tier list of all of them, is the one Burge doesn't like: black pudding.
Blech.
Does it belong on a breakfast? I think it
I
does.
don't like it.
I like black
I
pudding.
don't.
I'm a fan.
I just don't. I don't see the appeal. I really don't.
It's just nice. I like it.
It's just congealed fat and blood and ugh.
It's nice. Yeah, that's the best part.
But
How else are vampires supposed to survive nowadays? Have you seen this economy?
If I wanted to look at just a bunch of congealed fat and blood, I would find Boris Johnson. Okay, so
Jesus fuck. I mean, he's not wrong, but
He's not fucking wrong. Not the slightest.
okay, right. So no black pudding for you two, but yes for me. Yeah, so at this cafe, if you don't want an ingredient, you can substitute it with something else. So I used to swap my beans for an extra sausage, but now I swap my beans for black pudding.
Oh no.
It's good. It's nice.
See, I'd swap like my tomato out for an extra sausage or a hash brown.
Yeah, you can do that.
I
know
do.
someone who I'm normally down there at the same time as they swapped their tomato for mushrooms.
Or I'd probably just get mushrooms as an extra on top.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
fair.
So in fact, go in there, order the super, and then have extra of everything. Best part is their menu works is when you order an extra, you get 2 of it, and it's just $1.10 for every extra. So just like I'd like extra sausage, 2 extra sausages, extra £1.10 on your bill. It's
that
great.
Reminds
it's
me
great
of
down there.
I had a Route 303 breakfast once, and I had the big breakfast. I ate all but one hash brown of it, and I asked them to substitute an item because I didn't like it. I can't remember what the item was now.
Yeah.
So instead of just putting 1 extra sausage on the plate, they put an extra 3. So I had 6 sausages.
Now that's a portion.
Like 5 hash browns, I think it was. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's on my Instagram somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Burgedown_ on Instagram. It's on there somewhere.
Actually,
yeah, I left 1 hash brown.
Wait, Burge, think about it. You might have actually been to this cafe before. Have you ever been to the little cafe that's opposite where our dad used to work together? Down on the industrial estate?
No, I've never.
No, okay.
I know what you mean, but I've never actually been
there.
in there to eat. No,
it's there. No, it's got.
I know exactly
the little flat roof one down next to, opposite where the industrial estate has that road that goes off to the right.
I think I've been in there as well, actually.
Yeah,
but that would have been years ago, back when Mum worked
at the Big Red Company. Big Red Company?
No, EPAC. I think it was. I think it was down there. Yeah.
Maybe, but no.
I think
that cafe is
I think I've been in there literally once or maybe twice, and that was when I was a small and stupid child, as opposed to a big lanky twat.
A big and stupid twat. I'll tell you what, though.
There are benefits to growing up, kids. You become an asshole, but you actually have to take responsibility for it when you're an adult.
As an aside,
I don't know.
This packaging is excellent at keeping my beers warm, cold. It's actually just the insulated insert out of a certain subscription meal company that I'm not going to shout out because they're not paying us.
If they want to pay us, though.
Goodbye Moldy or whatever it is.
If they want to pay us, well, guys, as you guessed, I think I should get at least a 10% cut of the revenue.
I'm going to start writing up a contract that says guests are not entitled to money until we make enough money. Well, no, the thing is, we can't start offering guests a cut until we're making enough ourselves. Come on.
Yeah.
But I say, until you guys are, but that means you guys are gonna have to go through your dickhead stage of becoming rich streamers. You're gonna have to like flaunt bright white Adidas shoes that cost $2,000 and be there like, I'm so humble. Watch me walk over this homeless person.
If I was gonna get rich off streaming, all I want is enough to pay my bills and enough to rent an office. That's all I need.
Yep.
And enough to buy like a nice camera.
Yeah, like some nice gear. For
stuff, some nice equipment.
Bondage gear.
Bondage gear. Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Gotta make sure those cameras are secure.
All right, are we ready for a tier list? This is going to be hard for anyone to see. Podcast listeners, I will take a screenshot of the results and tweet them out.
Link it in the description or something.
Oh yeah, link it in the description on YouTube. Or if you're listening on any other services, it will be on Twitter at @TASpeed. I'll put it on my own. Why not? But let's switch over to there. We no longer have names, but I'm sure everyone knows who we are now. So, I'm going to start from the bottom as the order I added. I'll tell you what, it's a pain in the ass to add this many things. Add this many images to OBS. It is the fucking worst. Okay, so let's start with bacon. Where do we think, on a scale of S and then going A to E, where does bacon belong? As a breakfast food.
As a breakfast?
As a component of an English breakfast.
As a component?
I mean,
okay, well, this is the problem. So, because there's a difference between, like, it is essential as part of an English breakfast in my view, but equally, it is not one of those foods that I like it a lot, but it is not one of those foods that I would want to give an S tier to by any stretch of the imagination.
No,
I'm
see, I
leaning
want to
B
give
at
it
the
an
moment.
A.
A.
I'm leaning A.
I think I could live if somewhere came up to me and said, "I've run out of bacon. You can't have it on your breakfast." I think bacon is one of the things I would say. Okay, give me whatever else then.
As long as I could have, actually, yeah, I agree with Kieran. I think B. Now I think about it, because
B.
Yeah, I think B, because
Yeah, B.
like if they said no bacon, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's sad, but I could live without it. Whereas if they said the same thing about, say, the sausage, I'd be like,
sausage.
What?
Sausage is like a very important component. I imagine.
Sorry, we have no sausage. Fine, then you have no customer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, pretty
so
much.
next we have a fried egg.
Right.
Ooh.
See, this depends, because if it was, I would allow most type of eggs on my breakfast without being too worried, but specifically the fried egg.
Specifically a fried egg. Yeah. We also have omelette as an option coming up. So.
Okay.
Fried egg, to me, honestly, I'd put an A. For me personally, I think
say
to
nice,
me it's
there's
more
something
important.
about the yolk, like
a nice
sort
runny
of
fried
going
egg
over.
when you can
Yeah,
dip your bread in it. I'd say makes a fucking breakfast. So
That's what's pushing it to an A.
That's what's pushed it to it. Yeah.
Okay.
God, we're agreeing, guys. What's going on?
Okay, so next up is beans as an ingredient.
See. See. I don't think it deserves to be like in the lowest, but also again, as long as I've got something like an egg to like, add that, get rid of the dryness of all the other ingredients.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. It feels like a very D tier, edition. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not gonna. Out of all the ingredients on an English breakfast, I'd say most people that aren't English would go, "What the fuck is this?" at beans.
Well, that did in the discussion on Discord. He was like, "What? Why are you doing that? You've been brainwashed."
I'm going to put beans like in D tier because beans, I don't like them, and everyone goes, "Why the fuck is this on my breakfast? You weird pasty twats."
I think the thing is, even if you like beans are just such a replaceable item. Is their problem?
100% agreed there, Tom.
Oh,
okay.
On the stream,
Straight up, sausages is S tier. We've already agreed on this one.
Yeah, I got outvoted on the beans, but that's fine.
Wait, what did you say? Beans
would you be a C?
I said C, but it's like a low C, not like.
Oh, hold on, we could put it on the transition. We could put it like part way. I was about
to say, have it creeping up.
There you go, part way in.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But yes, S stands for sausage, and that's where it goes.
Yeah, that's where it
S stands for sash brown.
Sash brown. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, hash browns are also going there, clearly.
Yeah, the next one is omelette.
See,
I'd say it's not as good as fried egg because it's not as wet, which is a really weird sentence.
I don't think. I couldn't put it in A I'm just arguing whether, like, because I've not had an omelette for my breakfast before, so like I've got nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm leaning
like,
C for me. It's
I'm leaning
very
C because
Yeah.
I
middle of
don't
the
know if
road.
I'd put it in the same category as bacon either. You know?
No, but I'd say bacon.
Also, Burge, add on to Tom's girlfriend, wet.
Wet.
Oh yes.
For God's sake.
Made of cheese and wet.
So
Exactly.
we're talking like made of ricotta or something. That's
Yeah,
a wet cheese.
we're not talking wet. We're talking wet.
Also, I love the fact
Oh,
that these
wet.
hash browns are PNG.
Oh yeah, how lovely. That's adorable.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're
like-
S tier.
It's
Yeah,
like
hash
two
browns.
edible.
They're
I'll say put the 2 edible Star Destroyers in S tier.
Okay. So we're going for
they're S tier.
hash browns is posher alternative sauteed potato.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Again,
Whoa, guys,
Oh.
hold on. I'm sorry. I'm desperately sorry, but hash brownses.
Hash browns is. Wait, did I say that? Fuck.
Yes, you do. I'm sorry, Gollum. Why are you? Why are you joining?
Hash browns is precious.
Exactly. I'm sorry. It just caught me so off guard. I was like, wait, did you just say hash brownses?
Hash
I
browns.
didn't realize Lord of the Rings was still going on. I thought they'd fucking finished it by now.
Hash browns is precious.
Hash browns.
yeah,
Posher cousin.
sauteed potato. Again, I've not had it on a breakfast, so like I've got nothing.
The problem is,
I
it is
don't think I'd
delicious.
put it that.
I'm gonna put
Yes,
it up
sauteed potato is delicious.
I'm honestly, Tom. I'm going to say I'm leaning B myself. I don't think that's
Yeah.
essential.
I don't
but
think A.
I'll tell you
I think
what,
they're
I'll
delicious.
put them
I think they're
here.
delicious.
They're B, but behind bacon, in my opinion.
Okay. Oh, so Burge is behind bacon. I'm equal to bacon, and Tom wants
no.
ahead. So essentially, they have to go in B as the middle ground, don't they? Because
Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle bacon up to the border.
He's just changing bacon to make it work.
It has to. I could put them down here, I guess, and put the bacon.
He's abusing his powers as host.
It's called Tom's Tavern for a reason. Okay. Right, next ingredient. Toast.
I mean, toast is A,
Toast
really.
is A,
Yeah.
It's
If
toast.
you don't
it's
have an
just-
English breakfast, toast is like the breakfast food.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
Just as a
Yeah, pretty
standalone food, it's A tier.
Yeah,
basically.
it's toast.
Without
Right.
adding it to just
Yeah.
a pile of grease.
Also, I love the fact that Tom keeps changing like around to make it fit his own thing. It's like, pray I do not alter the deal
Right,
further.
literally. Okay, right. Fried bread. Ignore the bacon and egg in the background of this image. I just grabbed whatever I could off of fucking Google Images.
I'd say B again because it's not as essential to me, but it's like the
I like a good fried bread, but fried bread can be really shit and ruin a breakfast.
Yeah, if it's not
it's
done
risky.
properly, it's bad, isn't it? Like,
if you get someone that's not paying attention, you essentially just get some sog.
I'm gonna put
I've
it down
not managed to master making fried bread on my own at home yet.
It's
Like,
the
I've not
problem
been
is
able
it's a
to.
fine line between perfect and fucking ruined
Yeah.
in terms
I
of
can never get it
creativeness.
I can never get it to crisp up enough in the pan.
Yeah.
I just can't. It just doesn't crisp up enough, so it just becomes like a weird fatty toast.
Yeah.
It's just
It's something that it's for something so basic. It is very easy to screw up, and like you say, you just more often than not, if you're having it as an ordered thing and it's somewhere that's not probably got the most attentive staff because they get paid fuck all, then be braced that potentially up to 50% of the time your toast will be eating essentially paper mache and you will not enjoy it.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Next ingredient is going to cause some contention because it's black pudding.
E.
No.
Absolutely E.
No.
E.
What would you rate it
E.
as, Tom? If it was,
I'd
just
say
you?
black pudding is a B tier.
Okay,
No.
so if we're gonna go with equating it, essentially,
I'm gonna put it in D tier because both of you are saying E.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I, think
I like it.
Just no.
But
I'll
as a group, we're gonna have to agree that it is
right,
D tier.
again, right? With respect to everyone who likes black pudding, with respect to them all, look at that picture and tell me you don't just see 3 pucks for ice hockey.
I mean, yeah, that's basically what they are.
You shouldn't. Food shouldn't look.
And here we see the stream delay.
I feel like, to be fair to Kieran in this scenario, maybe they should go in D as well.
I don't know. Where do you think tomatoes live on the list, Kieran?
Say that I'm not as offended by tomato as black pudding, so.
See, like, this is my thing though. Like, for me, I've got to be honest. I love cooked tomatoes so much with my breakfast. I would honestly, I couldn't put it in S tier, I must say, but I would have it in A tier if it was just me. So for my vote would be for A.
Well, I'm voting for Z, so that balances it out to somewhere around K.
Tom, how dare you support Putin's war in Ukraine? How dare you, sir? How dare you use this humble breakfast? How dare you use this humble breakfast stream to support the movement of Z?
Oh God!
I've got him cancelled already. Excellent.
You're getting me cancelled on Twitter. Don't do this.
Yeah, no, I
haven't bought my blue
don't
check
offend me
mark.
as much as black pudding. So like, I would.
About to say, bro.
Yeah,
there you go,
C. I would probably allow C maximum, but only because they don't offend me as much as black pudding does. Black pudding wouldn't even be on this bloody list, as far as I'm concerned.
Cheers for helping me get tomatoes into C tier, Bird. It's very kind.
Mushrooms, I'd say a B.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you there, Tom.
Yeah, B. Yeah, there's
they add the flavour to it. They are quite. They're a core ingredient to it, but you can live without them as well.
There's something else that is at risk of going wrong, though, because if you overcook them, they get super slimy. And at that point, I might as well go out and lick a slug. So
yeah, agreed.
B tier. Okay, we have two left.
B tier.
And neither of them technically belong on the plate.
Oh.
We have a cup of tea.
Oh. Well, I mean,
to go with your English.
We're
breakfast.
British, so it's S tier, clearly.
S, obviously.
S.
I'll put it up on the black border above it.
And the funniest thing is, I don't really drink hot drinks that often unless I'm sick. So, I don't even have cups of tea with my breakfast
cup of
normally.
Tea is up there.
But I still agree it goes up there because I'm British and
because
I'm
British,
just can bugger off down in the thing because I fucking hate coffee.
I like a coffee with my breakfast because I like to wake up. But I'm going to have to put it in E because Britain.
But that's it. If in the context of English breakfast, coffee is heresy. Let's be honest. Let's be genuine for a second. If you want coffee in the morning, fuck off to Starbucks or Costa, like the dirty middle class liberal you are, and go get yourself one. You horrendous, disgusting. No, I'm joking, guys. Don't think
I was going to say, I will tend to order a coffee with my breakfast, as opposed to a tea.
Right,
but that's because
this is. Tom, you're bringing up an excellent point, because to me, I've got to be honest. I drink coffee rarely, but I do sometimes. Like, I've got some coffee in the flat now, but
it won't be open by the time he moves out. But
no, I've already opened it. I had a few.
Oh damn! Shit.
But the thing is, right, and this is just my opinion as someone who both likes tea and coffee, respectively.
Yeah.
But prefers tea. I've got to say, there's something about the taste of coffee that does not go with food, breakfast in particular, quite as well as tea goes with
tea goes with breakfast.
That's my crux of this. Like, tea just suits going with breakfast far better as a taste.
If I have a coffee with breakfast, I will eat the breakfast first and then drink the coffee. Mind you, I'll tend to go with the tea because I can't drink milk, and most places don't have an alternative. So, well, I can drink milk, but it'll be for me
very
later.
bad later for you.
I'll be sat on the porcelain throne for a while. But yeah, I'd say a tea I could drink alongside, as opposed to eat then drink.
Yeah,
which is exactly what I did when I was in the hotel. Actually, I'd have a tea and I'd have an orange juice. So I'd have the orange juice as like a cool drink I could drink while I wait for the tea to cool down a bit, and then I would.
Although if I have the option, I'd get an espresso for breakfast. Just add a bit of Italian flair to my breakfast.
Italian flair.
Italian in my British breakfast.
What is this? Breakfast means breakfast.
I didn't vote for breakfast. I mean Brexit for this.
But yeah, you've got like it's just the sort of. It's just something about the taste of coffee. And again, if you're someone that loves coffee, you know what? You're entitled to your opinion, but everyone should generally. But you should accept that, if you like coffee, it's because you need a pick me up and it's because you like the taste and hit of the caffeine from coffee. But you shouldn't generally have it with anything that is true food. I think the limit for me would be like if I was having a coffee, like I don't know, say you pop into Starbucks, whatever, and you get like a small slice of various cake or something like that, for example.
A sandwich or something.
Yeah, if something small
light.
that you can, something like you can demolish in like 2 minutes at most. That I think is the only time where food really is fine to have, and then have a bit of it, have a sip of coffee, have some more food. But for anything bigger like that or any breakfast, there's just something about the taste of coffee that ruins the breakfast for me. Like
Any
it just
Italians?
doesn't work.
I would like to apologise on behalf of my countrymen. Because they will drink coffee with anything. I will say that actually, I discovered a dessert. I say discovered, it's an Italian dessert. They've had it for years. But I discovered a dessert when I was in a town called Sidmouth. And a place sold out of like a hole in the wall, literally, type place. It's called an affogato, and it's just an espresso poured over ice cream. And it is so fucking good.
I remember you telling me about that.
It's surprisingly nice. The same place does a boozy one. I've yet to go back and try it, but I want to try a pissed up coffee and ice cream.
I think you told me about that as one of our many chats on the way up to London, actually.
Yeah, I love an affogato. It's so good. But yeah, so there we go. So just to clarify, we have sausages, hash brown, and tea in S tier. We have fried eggs and toast in A tier. Bacon, sauteed potatoes, mushrooms, and a little bit of fried bread in the B tier. We have omelettes, a bit of beans, and the rest of fried bread and tomatoes in the C tier. The rest of beans and black pudding in the D tier. And coffee in the E tier, where it belongs for breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, if you have coffee in the morning, you have it as a standalone. Or if you're French, you have it with a cigarette, as long with your daily dose of hate for the British. It sustains you for the rest of the day.
Tom, if you're French, you have your coffee along with your cigarette, your wife, and your mistress all in one morning. Your wife knows you have a mistress, but it's fine because you're French.
Actually, strangely, that was like a storyline in MASH, a TV show. That it was like the posh rich doctor couldn't have a relationship with a French person because she lived with someone out of wedlock, and that was considered too bohemian for his family. And it was like, this is the most fucking boomer shit I've ever seen in my life.
Is it bad when you said too bohemian? I was just like, what's Bohemian Rhapsody got to do with any of this? Leave them alone.
La vie bohème. That's a Rent reference.
Sure. Tell you what, do we need to end at 8:30, or are we just going to...
We can run over. We can overrun. We're just aiming for like an hour and a half per episode, but we can.
I just had a thought.
He's having a thought.
All right, shut up. Do either of you two have any food that is not part of the stereotypical English breakfast, or perhaps just not stereotypically part of breakfast, but one that you would really like to just include if it was an option? Like, say you were in Wetherspoons or any other place like that and you ordered an English breakfast. Was there any food that comes to mind that isn't stereotypical that you would be like, hey, have you got this? Could I have this with my thing like on top of it?
Shall we broaden this and say alternative things for breakfast? Because I've had some breakfasts that sound like super weird out of context, but they're like super good.
Go on, hit us with one, because I don't often eat breakfast, so my breakfast list, and that's why I'm asking you two this, because I don't necessarily have much to go on here.
There's a cafe chain. I can't remember exactly what it's called, pardon me. But they
Cafe.
They do what's called an eggs royale for breakfast, and it's an English muffin with smoked salmon and a poached egg on top. But you can have it with ham if you prefer, Burridge. That's the smoked salmon, a poached egg, and hollandaise sauce is called an eggs royale, but it's basically just a posh version of a eggs Benedict, which is the ham version.
Right.
And I'm going to say, it sounds like a super weird thing for breakfast, like smoked salmon. But I tell you what, it works so well.
When you say it, it does sound a bit odd. But
It's so Boston Tea Party. That's what it's called. The restaurant. There's one in Taunton, I believe, but there's one in Plymouth, and there's definitely several in London. But
can we just appreciate there's a food chain operating in this country that is named after the worst terror attack on Britain in her history?
Because we had when I worked
poured our tea, you bastards.
When I worked for like a part of an establishment at the uni, we went there for our like department Christmas brunch. And I did say when we got to the car park, I was like, this feels so treasonous eating at a place called Boston Tea Party. But
yeah,
like their breakfast menu has like so many abnormal things. But I tell you what, smoked salmon, that eggs royale as it's known, is so good. I had it. My mother did it for us for breakfast on Christmas Day last year, and it is so good.
I don't know. Because like, I haven't really sat and thought like, oh, what would I enjoy on a breakfast that isn't on a breakfast? It's just not.
I'll tell you
Not something I really thought about.
A super like old person thing, like kippers for breakfast. It's another fish thing for breakfast, and it seems so weird.
What's with them and fish? Ugh.
Well, like fishing was a big industry for Britain, especially large parts of it, until we voted for breakfast and our fish became worthless.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think I have anything off the top of my head that I can think of that I'm like. I mean, like, you could change out the hash brown for like a potato waffle, I guess, but like a potato waffle doesn't have the same flavorings as a hash brown, so
yeah.
I can't remember where it was that I ordered something. What no, I can't remember off the top where it was off the top of my head. But basically, I ordered like an all-day breakfast. Oh, a cafe and a Morrison's. I ordered an all-day breakfast because they had like nothing else in stock, and then it came with chips. And I was like,
Weatherspoons does that with their all-day brunch.
Yeah,
their all-day brunch is chips.
I'm going to go out and say that chips do not belong on a breakfast in any way, shape, or form.
Agreed.
Like,
yeah, no, I don't.
I would even accept like fucking potato smiles over chips on a fucking breakfast, but chips is just a step too far.
He's right. He is right. I'm
not sure I understand.
Fuck off, Siri.
Okay, so Siri. Okay, right. So we've got a vote from Siri saying
so she doesn't understand why chips isn't an acceptable breakfast food.
Let me try and do it in her voice. Well, I'm American. I believe that chips are always good. I like chips with everything.
Yeah, but when they say chips, they mean fucking crisps, don't they?
Sorry, hold on. I like French fries.
No, they called them freedom fries because the French refused to support the Iraq War. That's legit a thing that happened in the Congress restaurant.
And about to say, just like you know, your Congress is petty as fuck when they're like, "Oh, we got to rename this food because it's got French in the word," and they didn't support us bombing the shite out of a Middle Eastern country. So, I don't know if that should be your biggest focus, but you guys do you.
Yeah. But yeah,
sorry, I'm getting political. Not allowed to do that.
We got political episodes coming up.
Need to get into the politics of breakfast.
I'm joining on those ones, not because I necessarily have an opinion on most things, just because I want to listen to Kieran. I genuinely.
Burridge, you're gonna warm my little heart. It was so sweet.
If you had one.
Yeah, I remember when you put on that rubber glove and ripped it out of me through my arsehole. Fucking hurt like shit.
Shot through the heart.
Still got that photo. Great
yeah,
photo.
like chips absolutely do not belong on a breakfast.
No.
Chips.
What about like potato? What about diced potatoes, like potato cubes?
Yes. Right. So a good breakfast is something called. Have you ever heard of bubble and squeak?
Yes, I love bubble and squeak.
It's just leftovers that have been fried.
Bubble and squeak is just leftovers from last night's dinner. It's great.
That is a fully acceptable breakfast.
Yeah, I love bubble.
Refried cooked potato plus whatever the fuck you have left over. Like I've had bubble and squeak before, where it's just potato, especially Christmas. You get like potato sprouts, carrots, all that good shit. Just
So the
as
double
like,
squeak I've had before has been like a bit of broccoli,
yeah, that's good.
potato, carrot, swede, all just together and then fried.
Is that like
it
what?
sounds so wrong, but
Is-
it isn't.
Is this what an American hash is? I don't know. What the fuck is American hash, by the way? I've heard of that as like a breakfast. Corned beef hash. Let's have a look at the recipe and see what it actually is.
Oh, corned beef hash.
Yeah, leftover
we
corned
sell
beef.
that over here.
It's just meat and potatoes basically that's left over. So
Yeah.
that's effectively a bubble and squeak.
Yeah.
We just tend to
Yeah.
add vegetables to it. And I will say that's just
Yeah.
about the only time that it's okay to have like a leafy green on a vegetable is part of a bubble and squeak. Like broccoli, if you serve that on an English breakfast, I'd throw the fucking plate at you. Because what the fuck is wrong with you if you serve broccoli on
Ooh.
breakfast?
Ooh, that's a good question though, Thomas.
Okay, yeah.
Fruit with your breakfast. What are your guys' opinions on that?
Okay, so if your breakfast is like a continental breakfast, like croissant or like pain au chocolat, then I'd say fruit fits in perfectly. Or like even a German breakfast where they tend to mix like meats and breads and stuff. Like fruit is a perfectly acceptable accompaniment to that. But if you put an apple in the middle of my full English plate, again, I'm throwing that fucking shit at you. Unless that motherfucker's deep fried. I don't want to know.
So I just don't like fruit. Like
that's
I don't
obvious,
eat
bro.
fruit. Yes, I eat a lot of
Sorry,
veg
sorry.
though.
Sorry,
That's the thing.
Veg
I eat
is
a
nice,
lot
though.
of vegetables.
Strangely, I prefer the savoury of veg to the sweet of fruit. Apple's nice.
Yeah, I don't really like fruit. I'll eat fruit flavored things and stuff like that. But
Strawberry
I won't
laces.
Eat
Are they one of my 5 a
strawberry
day?
laces. Yeah.
I had 5 cans of cider. Does that count?
It's got apples in it. I'm five.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
to be honest,
I don't have a problem.
I'd say fruit is more fitting on a breakfast than a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
Like,
Vegetables is more of a dinner thing.
If I found
Unless
green
like you say,
beans
you're
on my
having a bubble
breakfast, I'd be
squeak.
like, excuse me, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
But again, that's not what I was saying. Unless it's in a bubble and squeak where you fried it up and it's just mixed of all the leftovers.
It's interesting because we accept vegetables as a breakfast food if they're fried. But if they're not,
fried, yeah.
it's just like,
if they're
what
on
are
my plate
you
after
doing?
they've just been boiled, what are you doing? Stop it.
Literally, like,
I like broccoli.
Broccoli's lush. Tender stem is really
broccoli.
good. Tender stem, registered trademark. Actually,
Yes.
just as a side note, do you know why it is a registered trademark? Because tender stem's not true broccoli. Tender
That's
stem,
right. It's
a cross between
splice or
kale
something.
and broccoli.
Yeah.
Invented by an Irish company in the 80s or something.
Yeah.
Love a good bit
Yeah.
of
So
tender
they
stem.
trademarked it. Yeah. No, tender stems, right?
Yeah, like I have no problem with vegetables. Most vegetables I love, especially since I've started like receiving boxes from undisclosed meal service.
After this, let me know what it is. I want to have a look at it and maybe get one myself.
Yeah, if you want, I've got 3 codes for 3 boxes. All you have to do is pay shipping.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's worth it.
I'll do that. Yeah,
it's worth it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, like vegetables don't belong on breakfast, but I would say fruit has its place. Like especially things like apples or bananas, blueberries or something in porridge. That works really well.
Yeah,
but I'm not a fan of things in my porridge. I like my porridge plain, but I can see where people are coming from with blueberries. I just couldn't cope with the mix of textures. Like porridge is weird enough on its own as a texture. But yeah.
Oh, Jess has just told me in DMs what it is you order. But yes, I will have a code, and we'll get one.
Yeah, but it's like I'd love a continental breakfast like croissants and shit. I love that. And I did the German exchange when I was in year 8, and the breakfast we had there consisted of like garlic sausage, salami, like petit pain, little bread rolls, like the part baked ones, and then like shit like Nutella and marshmallow fluff. It seemed like such a weird combination to go from like, here, have a salami, to here, have some fucking Nutella. But it worked so well. Like, Germans know how to have a breakfast. Like, if they offered me a beer, I would have said, fuck yeah. Full German experience. I don't know if that's typical in Germany. Like, the family I stayed with were lovely. But it was sort of like... I don't know if this is like a standard thing. I'm guessing it is. Like, they shopped at Aldi, so that's like pretty German, right?
Yeah.
But
Tom, are you trying to determine the level of Germanness of the German family you stayed with?
yeah,
man's doing profiling.
They were pretty German. They had like some interesting architecture in the house. That was the first time I'd ever actually seen floating stairs in real life. It's like each one of their stairs was just... It had a gap between the stair above and below it, so it wasn't supported by the whole superstructure. And I was like, this is kind of odd. Never seen this before. It was very modern. To be fair, lovely family.
I have a question.
Yeah?
I have a question from an audience member, my wonderful girlfriend.
Oh, Jess.
She asks, what about muesli? What are thoughts on muesli?
I'm not a fan of breakfast cereals at all.
But
breakfast cereals require milk. And...
yeah, okay. Not in your case, mate.
I'm lactose intolerant, so...
I like cereal wise, I'll eat like a Weetabix or a Shreddies.
The problem I have with a lot of breakfast cereals is I try to avoid Nestle products wherever possible because they are a fucking terrible company, and they make so many of them.
Muesli can be very dry, yes.
If I wanted something dry for breakfast, I'd get some porridge oats and make a fucking flapjack. Or I'd just eat porridge oats on their own. Or, I'd overcook some toast.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, toast and pate. What are thoughts on pate?
No.
Nah.
I quite like. I like a Brussels pate. It's like a garlicky meat, which is really good. I like a smooth pate, though, not a coarse one.
Yeah, no, I don't do pate.
Crumpets?
Yeah, same as porridge. Crumpets. Oh,
I love a good crumpet. Mm-hmm. I've got to be in the mood. Like, I wouldn't have it every day, but...
Okay.
Yeah, me and Burridge had a sex act called the Crumpet.
I'm not going to lie. I love a good crumpet. I'm going to suggest something a little weird here, though. You know how you can get the seriously strong spreadable cheese?
Yeah.
Put that on a toasted crumpet. A cheesy crumpet is honestly phenomenal.
I've never tried that.
Cheesy crumpet spread. I can see. I would have to do it with a mild.
Oh, yeah.
Because
like seriously strong is just the brand.
Mature. Yeah,
they do like a strong and like a Burridge.
Well, no, when I say mild, I mean like strength 1. I cannot.
Burridge needs spreadable mozzarella.
Yeah, mozzarella and Edam.
Edam's a mild cheese, yeah. Brie?
Yeah, I like Edam. Edam's very nice. I haven't had Brie, but yeah.
Brie's quite mild. Camembert's a little stronger. I love
I don't know what it is, but mature, anything above like a very mild cheese makes me ill. Genuinely makes me ill.
Man,
so it's not even
cheese.
the... Yeah, no, I can't. Let's see. Now crumpets could go to hell. I mean, again, I've got to be in the mood to have them, but I will eat them. Sometimes I'm not a fan of the texture. The texture sometimes weirds me out a bit, but
yeah.
And we were so wrong about the tier list. I don't remember it now, but toast, beans, and black pudding are all E tier.
Yeah,
Jess, you don't like any of those things, anyways.
Look, Jess, you're allowed to be wrong. That's your right in our country. You're still wrong.
Yeah, I would say if I had...
Guys, just remember, I don't want to sleep on the sofa tonight, so I'm going to disagree with her, but respectfully, and say no more than that.
He's getting himself in trouble. I will say, if I had a choice of anything for breakfast, I would probably go a full English, and then I'd go for an eggs royale, and then like cereal would be probably my last choice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I'd sooner go without breakfast than have most cereals.
Do you know what? I generally don't eat a lot of breakfast. If I'm on an early shift, I don't eat breakfast. I have like an early lunch, like 9-10 o'clock.
I tend to blend a lunch and a breakfast and then have like a mid-afternoon snack or something instead.
Yeah. I don't really do breakfast that often, unless I'm home. Like, I'll have breakfast tomorrow because I'm not in work till later in the afternoon. But
I'll be honest, I don't normally have breakfast, just regardless. I
yeah, but that's
normally
because you're never up past before like 4 p.m.
before tea time.
Right, there's no need for you to throw bombs at me.
This is just an
This progressively.
anecdote from when me and Kieran lived together, but I have legit ordered fucking dinner from Uber Eats before he's got emerged from his room for the day.
Same. When I lived with him, I'd done exactly the same thing.
How's the sleeping pattern right now, Kieran?
The sleeping pattern at the moment is far better than it was. I am up, I'd say, on days when I have uni, I normally get up earlier. I don't actually have to be in the mornings for any of, like, the earliest I have to be in is 11, and that's today.
But yeah, get up.
But I normally am
Be
just
ready.
up because that way I just have my shower first thing in the morning to get it out of the way. So I've gotten better at that, but it's also... Well, yeah, but it's also, I've tried to get better at it because it improves the amount of work I get done, and it improves just the amount of, it just improves my productivity for the day to get up. And obviously, with all my, without getting in too much into depth, but the issues I had and all the rest with uni work and such, it was like, well, it is clear that the onus does not just lie in sort of circumstance or anything else. I clearly share a good deal of the blame for being in rough spots. So, it was like, what can I change to try and improve what I'm doing? And some days, like you say, some days, especially like weekends, for example, where if I'm going to do work, it's probably going to be the afternoon anyway. Yeah, I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to stay here until I want to get out of bed. Some days that's like 9, half 9. Some days it's like 11 because I'm just cozy. I mean, I don't have anywhere to go all day unless I choose to.
I have to get up and walk the dog at the moment, so...
See, for me, Kieran knows this, of course. If I'm up at 7, I'm up at 7.
Yeah.
That's that. If I wake up at 7, I wake up at 7. If I wake up at 9, I wake up at 9. The only time I try and go back to sleep is if I wake up any earlier than like 6. Now, obviously, that doesn't always work when you're in at 5 a.m. like today. But
yeah, wake up at 6. See what happens.
Half 4 alarms. Half 4 alarms, man. Ain't it? They ain't it. I hate them. As for Jess's question, I saw
pancakes. Yes, waffles.
What are your thoughts on pancakes? Yes. I like pancakes. Yeah.
I tell you what,
the sugary waffles I quite like as well. Actually, fair.
Again, this is kind of going back to another thing we covered a little while ago of sweet and savoury, but
yeah,
fried chicken and waffles, like sweet waffles, is such a fucking amazing combination that it doesn't even make sense. I had it at the Stonemasons once, and it fucking blew my mind. Like, getting a chunk of fried chicken along with like a sweet waffle is just something else. I've had chicken and waffles since, but they just used like an unsweetened batter, and it just wasn't the fucking same. Like they used like a Yorkshire pudding batter as opposed to a sweet waffle batter, because they're
Yorkshire pudding batter is more of a savoury one, isn't it?
Well, they're literally the only difference is a Yorkshire pudding batter doesn't have sugar. That's the only difference. All batters are alike as in terms of crepes. Not shoes, French pancakes, Yorkshire puddings, like a basic waffle batter. It is all the same. Like American pancakes, or as we call them over here, drop scones, or just pancakes in America. They're slightly different. They require a raising agent, but they're still basically just the same batter with like bicarb of soda and baking powder added. But that sweetness mixed with fried chicken is surprisingly good. Like, I had it, and I've been searching for that experience ever since, and I've not found it.
I need to try that at some point. That sounds amazing.
They took it off the menu after a little while, and it was just so different. Actually, weirdly, I found like, the Stonemasons is a Marston's pub. And I found one once. Well, we came across one as like a family member camping up in the Midlands, I think. And it was a different type of Marston's pub. It was like a Marston's street food type pub. And you ordered a chicken, like a popcorn chicken and fries, and it came in a like a metal plate, like a camping plate, about this big around, and it was a mountain of fries and chicken. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Why do we not have these everywhere? But apparently they've they've discontinued that branch of the organisation now. It's so disappointing. But yeah, chicken and waffles is an amazing combination. The Americans are really onto something there.
I'm gonna have to try that.
I'd tell you what though, like, it's a strange combination, like bacon and maple syrup. It just works. It is basically just bacon and sugar water, but fuck, does it taste good? It's so good. Kieran's staying suspiciously quiet on this.
Well, it's just didn't have necessarily much to interject, and you two are going on quite well.
No comments about waffles or pancakes?
I mean, aside from the fact that pancakes are great, waffles are fine.
I'll tell you what,
and
right,
yeah, that's about it, really.
Let's have a debate here. French style crepes or American style pancakes? Which is better?
Oh, I like a good crepe. I like a crepe.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have a strong preference either way. And
I don't
have a strong preference either way, but I do like a crepe.
Each has their strong suit.
Yeah.
I will say, I had a really amazing crepe at Alton Towers once. It was about this big around. If you can't see it, it was about a foot in diameter. And they piled half of it up with white chocolate chips, and they folded it up into a cone, and it was so good.
Oh my god,
it was amazing.
Sounds like my dream.
It was amazing.
So people who know me know I love white chocolate. Yeah. White chocolate is my favorite type of chocolate. Technically not chocolate, but
yeah,
chocolate with quotations, parentheses.
We call it chocolate in the UK.
Yes,
despite the fact it's technically.
I love it so much. So that sounds like heaven.
It was really good. I will say, an American pancake with bacon and maple syrup is so fucking good. They do it in Mackey's, they do it in Spoons, they do it in like a bunch of places, but there's just something about an American like it's light and fluffy, which you don't expect for a breakfast food. Like a cornflake is the most bland and dense shit in the world.
I fucking hate cornflakes. Cornflakes are fucking awful.
You know, an interesting piece of history: cornflakes were invented as anti-masturbatory things. They were supposed to be so bland that they disinspired boys from like having a cheeky one. Legit.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I've had me breakfast. Do you know what? I wanted to wank before this breakfast, but now I really don't want
my breakfast has made me so
put off my morning wank.
Depressed that I can't be bothered.
I'm so depressed that I've been put off my morning wank.
Okay, but equally, right? I'm just gonna put this out here. Okay, so if you're wanting a cheeky morning jerk, right? Who in their right mind is like, okay, my plan is I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to have some breakfast, I'm going to say hi to my family, and then I'm going to go back upstairs and jerk one off. Like, I'm sorry, unless you live in Alabama, that is a disconcerting way to fucking schedule your morning relief.
To be fair, it is originating in like puritanical America, so that could be the case.
Like, what the fuck?
Genuinely could be the thing. Yeah, it was created by William Kellogg in 1894.
I've had enough of all these kids wanking.
Okay, apparently it was
something they'll really think about.
It was originally invented for patients at a sanitarium, so what we would call like a psychiatric facility nowadays. So actually, yeah, I can kind of see why like your breakfast cereal could be a thing. To stop that sort of thing. Yeah, like the history of some breakfast cereals is so fucking weird.
Well, you just go into Crazy Charlie's room and they're like, oh god, not again, and he's just been doing nothing but jerking himself stupid all night.
That's what the ghosts in Phasmophobia in the Asylum map have been doing.
I remember seeing part of that Phasmophobia thing though. Didn't you guys, when it was just you guys without that there, don't I remember you saying you did it on the easiest one just to avoid being scared as much as possible?
Yeah.
You fucking wuss.
Well, Tom did it on that.
I don't know. I was the host of the lobby.
Tom did that.
Tom, you need good content, and good content involves people watching you literally shit your pants live on air.
I'd rather not shit my pants live on air.
Just have some cornflakes, mate. You feel
I wouldn't feel anything inside. I'd be dead inside.
It's weird because like Kellogg's cornflakes are both very much a staple of like a stereotype staple food of Britain, and yet equally, like you say, they are the most bland thing. Like even among
They're an
cereals.
American invention as well,
awful.
which is the weird thing.
Yeah, but I mean, Britain was poorer than America for a lot
yeah.
of the start of this century. Well, the last century, sorry. So you know, probably needed it.
Yeah, it's like Special K is basically just cornflakes repackaged. Special K was literally invented to market to women. They're basically the same thing, but now they have dried fruit added to them, and that's
Ooh.
yeah, literally. To be fair, it used to be like we used to get Special K here. Like my mum used to buy it before she switched to like Weetabix, and I used to just go through the box and try and find all the freeze dried strawberries because they're really fucking nice. They're so good. I used to like when there was a point where I'd like be allowed to choose what cereal I'd have. To be fair though, Weetabix is quite nice. Yeah, fair enough. I don't blame you.
Yeah,
There's a woman I hate Special K. Fair enough. Yeah, like going through and picking up the freeze dried strawberries is lush. I could just have asked for a bag of freeze dried strawberries from like Holland and Barrett or something, but you know, I'd dig the ones out of Special K. Why not? Also, I love the fact that Special K has become like a word for ketamine now. Yeah, like breakfast cereal is just like worst fucking tier of breakfast.
When someone tells you they have Special K in the morning, and you just have to look at them like, are they bland, boring Billy, or are they ketted out of their minds, just shuddering up and down like, I'm fine.
Spend the whole day in the K hole. Why not?
In the K hole.
That's what it's called. Genuinely, it's called the K hole. Like the after effects of ketamine is called the K hole.
Tom, I am called Kieran. I have a K hole. I assure you, my K hole is not for ketamine. I guarantee you.
That's a very different Margaret Thatcher speech. This woman is not for.
Oh, God.
This woman is not for people putting ketamine in her K hole.
Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, no, like, why, if you're gonna, like, the morning is always the worst time of the day. I don't wake up and think, yes, this is going to be a good day. I wake up and think, oh, for fuck's sakes, I'm still alive.
Yeah, but to be fair, Tom, that explains the origin of Kellogg's cereal, though, doesn't it? Because like, if you're depressed, you know, at least for 5 minutes, you could cheer yourself up before realizing, oh, now I'm just messy and sad.
I'm mildly adhesive and sad now, as opposed to just sad. Yeah, but like, realistically, that's why they had to like start making sugary cereals because
oh my god, I'm sorry, but just like your girlfriend, make me mildly adhesive.
I tell you what, I apologise to anyone who's listening to this on podcast format because this is going to be so fucking weird.
Oh my god.
You've set it to explicit, right?
Yes, yeah, that is what it's set to.
I just love also looking at the chat, just saying, Jess, as a woman, I hate Special K. And I'm just there like,
Just
what,
hates
do women have
ketamine.
a strange... But I say, do women have an extra strange relationship with the ket?
Yeah. Yeah, but like, you wake up in the morning, you think, for fuck's sakes, I'm still here. And then, I know, I'm going to make my day worse by having some shit out of a fucking box with cow juice on it. Yeah, cool. That's going to make my fucking morning, isn't it? At least, you know, if you're having a full English breakfast.
Cow juice from now on.
That's what it is, it's cow juice.
Cow juice.
You squeeze a cow and the juice comes out. That's what it is.
Right, can we just also you know, I'm sure at some point seen like because farmers seem to like the idea, but can we just appreciate that? To me, it seems just a bit too, how do I put this, pervy to be a farmer, have dairy cows, go up to one with a glass and actively grab that cow by its udder, fill the glass, and then drink it in front of it. Like, I'm sorry, that's a fucking creep kink at that point.
You know, actually,
that's not you being like, oh yeah, this is just milk. It's like, no,
okay,
no, it's weird.
I had a thought a while ago because if I make porridge, I make it with oat milk because you know lactose intolerant. And I thought, this seems pretty cruel. I'm drowning oats in the blood of their former relatives to make porridge. But then you're here like, I'm going to pull like the fucking sustenance for this cow's young out of it forcibly and drink it in front of it. You know, actually, that's more fucking sadistic than me. So, yeah, no, you know what? You're right here.
To be fair, it's not very sadistic when cows need to be milked.
Well, no, yeah, but the cows only need to be milked because we forcibly get them pregnant, so...
Yeah,
like,
but
I
Tom,
kind of see where vegans are coming from on this stance here.
Yeah, but Tom, equally, right? Equally.
Oh god, here we go.
Equally, right?
Here we go.
You know, just to argue the other side, right? You telling me if someone put you in a jerking machine all day, every day, you wouldn't be loving life?
Not after the first, like, 20 minutes or so, no.
What if they gave you your computer set up so you could occupy yourself whilst you're just having it down there, you know? And then, you know, some 65-year-old man comes along, collects a bucket, or should we call it? We'll call it
seepage.
Adhesive.
Oh, look, he's got a lot of mild adhesive today.
Yeah, no, that's just weird. That's just weird as fuck. But yeah, it's like, you know, if you get, I'd rather have nothing for breakfast than have cereal. I like how this whole fucking like 10-minute tangent got started by saying I'd rather have literally fucking, I'd rather starve than have cereal for breakfast. You know, at least,
welcome
you know,
everyone to Tom's Tavern.
Welcome. You know, I'd rather wake up and think, yes, a pig has died for me to eat this morning. Than go, a cow was mildly inconvenienced for me.
Can we also appreciate Tom's sympathy earlier for the cows have being milked, and then he's equally there, like, yeah, but if a pig has to die, so
listen, pigs are dangerously smart. They could be like an enemy of humanity. So you know, it's all good service.
They don't have opposable thumbs. We're fine.
I've read Animal Farm. I know that all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Is that the only thing you remember from our GCSE English?
No, I remember something about a bloke called Gatsby as well.
Apparently, it was pretty great.
Wait, what was that A-level English? That might have been A-level English.
I think that... Yeah,
I think
that was
A-level.
A-level English. It
Fuck.
was... I noticed the book on civil... on the court case, civil rights and stuff of the South, that was our GCSE one. That's
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, To Kill
I
a
remember that
Mockingbird.
one. There was pecans involved, or pecans.
Much like the Rambling On podcast.
This has got way off.
Got
Well,
off
I don't know.
topic.
It's still somewhat related to breakfast, at least.
True.
Right. Let's say, let's go. Yeah, we'll go down the
Yeah.
cruelty list of where your breakfast was sourced from.
God.
If you're
Cow
Hannibal
juice.
Lecter, the cruelty is 100.
Or, you know, yeah, to have human for breakfast. Sure, why not? Delicious.
No.
No, yeah, right. Okay, anyway. I think this is a good time to end before we fuck off into the abyss.
Yeah.
Before our souls
dear.
get cast into hell forever. Thank you all so much for joining us today here at Tom's Tavern. We would like to invite you back next week at 7 PM live on twitch.tv/Toms_Tavern because I couldn't regular one for some fucking reason.
Some cunt stole it.
That one too. Jesus Christ, Burridge. That's very angry. This will be out as a podcast on Monday. Please do follow us on whatever your favourite podcast source is, depending on how I can get it set up. I don't really understand. Burridge did the Rambling On stuff. It's all confusing to me. Also, I've been an idiot today and forgot to set recording separately, so I'm going to have to rip audio from this, but it shouldn't make a huge difference anyway. Yeah. We'll be back next week. Next week, we're talking about the Star Wars prequels. Kieran, you joining for that?
If I'm free, you got it.
Good. It's going to be a fun one. I don't think we're going to bother with the tier list of that. Although we could start a tier list for just the entirety of Star Wars.
We could start one for the series. I feel like that's because we all know where 7, 8, and 9 are fucking going already.
Into the bin. Where they belong.
Yeah.
I know I said to Vat that we wouldn't be covering. Pardon me, the Clone Wars, but I feel like we ought to cover the Clone Wars. Is Rebels prequels? Technically it is, isn't it?
Rebels is prequel.
Rebels,
to
Rogue
the
One,
original.
Solo.
Rogue One, yeah.
All that shit. Well, we'll put it all in.
So you're essentially going with everything before A New Hope.
Yeah, that's what's canonically prequels anyway. So, or at least what's classed in prequels on r/prequel memes on Reddit. So we'll go with that. But
okay, we're going by Reddit standards.
Yeah, next week we talk about Star Wars. We talk about all sorts of shit on this show. But thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.